Dr. Waller, this is Catalina Fernandez-Moores presenting I and Jocelyn Dominguez's project. So first I was going to start with the data description that Kayla Birch gave us, because we're essentially analyzing her data and making it easier for her to see what's happening. Sorry. And here is a general description of what the columns are. And she has data for a test greenhouse, a control greenhouse, and outside readings. Essentially, Jocelyn and I wanted to get done points A, B, and C for this project, and I was in charge of seeing if the data was usable, in the sense that if column B was greater than column D, it meant that the light readings inside the greenhouse were greater than the light readings outside, which isn't possible. And so she wanted me to go and make every single number in that row 0, or for the specific sensor readings, because we have the pyranometer sensors right here and the quantum readings right here. And I did the same for the quantum sensor columns. If any of these were also less than 0, they were incorrect. And that's essentially it. I didn't go about it by division, because I ran into a division by 0 overflow error. And I thought it might be easier for Kayla to see what's happening as well, in case she ever has to modify the code. It's more self-explanatory this way. We use data arrays, since we discussed in class that this took forever to do, and this is done in a matter of seconds. I also made it so that she could see the number of data points that she has in here, the percentage of failed pyranometer readings, the percentage of failed quantum sensor readings, and the specific number of failed readings. Her data isn't actually this bad. I was just messing around with all the numbers. And when my code wasn't working in the beginning and making everything like 0, I had to start over. And so I also made it so there's a button to transfer the relevant data, any data that isn't a 0, to updated value sheet. What I didn't get to do, though, was make it so that these spaces are filled in the sense that like this would go to the next available empty cell. And I know Jocelyn and I were trying to use the is empty if active cell is empty, but we couldn't figure it out. Jocelyn worked on the C point under 2, and she found the average, maximum, and minimum values for each row. She had trouble making a form with it, but we figured that if you want the averages, you're going to want all of them for the most part, and you could always have them right here. And so here we have average, min, max, and all the columns in the exact same order. If I change this to, let's say, 0.001, you then see that the average will change. Also, to show my buttons right here, if I have this be 3, this be 2, and this be 1, it'll make these top values here, and these as well, because they can't have 0 readings, all 0. And then if I press transfer, and it goes over to the updated values. Oh, if I clear this first. I should have put clear contents. Here we go. And so now you see that these are input, but since these were 0, they don't show up. I also wanted to attempt an hourly average, which was an extra point that Kayla brought up for further analysis. And once we have the average hourly, we could also compare it with azimuth data from the weather station that Kayla was looking at. But as far as we got in the code, it was giving me a problem with num observations. These are all loops for that. We narrowed down the problem to be this variable, but couldn't figure out how to fix it. But essentially, it would just step 4, and then if there's a number that isn't 0, it would add the total up into a sum, and then num observations is supposed to be the number of times that there's a value greater than 0 in the set of 4 rows. Overall, though, I think we did a good job, and we got what Kayla really needed done. And we also made it prettier with nice buttons and everything. So I hope you have a great weekend, and have a good night, Dr. Waller.